Michael Jordan's NASCAR team just got hit hard by a brutal court decision that changes everything.
Two race teams just sued NASCAR.
I think we're probably going to consent. Let me raise it right now. Yeah, I think so. Don't you?
Michael, are you disappointed that you're going for a championship and this is also hanging over you?
No, I've been in situations of disparity. I mean, I think the race team's going to focus on what they have to do this weekend, which I expect them to. And I think Jeffrey did an unbelievable job today. And I think, I put all my cards on the table. I think we did a good job of that. And, but I'm looking forward to winning the championship this weekend, though.
What happens when Michael Jordan's NASCAR team takes on the very group that gave it a spot in the races and almost loses everything? What if we told you they almost gave the team a totally different name? This story isn't just about cars or winning, it's about money, rules, and a big court fight that might change NASCAR forever. Let's go back to how it started. In late 2024, two racing teams, 23XY Racing, owned by basketball legend Michael Jordan and race car driver Denny Hamlin, and another team called Front Row Motorsports, took NASCAR to court. They said NASCAR's system was unfair. NASCAR gives out things called charters. These are like golden tickets. If a team has one, they can race every week, earn more money, and stay in the game. Without one, life gets very hard. Each charter is worth a lot, up to $15 million every year. That's enough to make or break a team. Jordan's team in Front Row said the way NASCAR gives out charters isn't fair, and they asked the court to help. In December 2024, the court gave them a little win. It said, for now, these two teams could race with full rights like any other team. That small win gave them hope.
Yeah, I mean, we have a charter system, with our race teams that basically coincides with our TV partners and TV contract that NASCAR negotiates. In this case, it's 7 years. The last one was 10 years. So, we're not really a franchise sport like others. It's privately owned by the France family in NASCAR. They own a lot of the racetracks as well as the Smith family and a few one-offs. So we're very unique, and I think that there's the hope that maybe there would be more permanency with the charters and more of a franchise system that's going to build more enterprise value within the teams, and that didn't necessarily happen. All the teams except for two went ahead and signed the charter agreement to go along with the TV contract, and in 2311 and Front Row Motorsports, chose not to and have their reasons that I guess will kind of play out in court one day. Yeah.
But by June 2025, things went south. A group of judges said the first court was wrong. They said Jordan's team and Front Row probably wouldn't win in the end, so their special rights should be taken away. The judges didn't believe NASCAR broke the law. Now, the teams have until June 26th to ask for another chance in court. If they don't ask, or if they lose, they become open teams. That means they can still race, but they won't have the same rights or money. They also might miss races if too many cars show up, and they won't get a share of NASCAR's big TV money. That's millions of dollars gone each week. NASCAR doesn't have to pay them any money as if they were chartered for the rest of the year unless they win an appeal. In my opinion, it's a big win for NASCAR. This could cause big problems. Many sponsors, people who give money to help teams, only stick around if the team has a charter. Some driver contracts also depend on having a charter. If that goes away, deals could break. Top drivers might leave. Sponsors might pull their money. The teams could fall apart. Denny Hamlin said not to worry yet. He thinks this is just one step in a long legal fight. The big court case is still coming on December 1st, 2025. That's when we'll find out if their claim against NASCAR wins or loses for good. I'm more worried, I think, that the financial burden that this places on the team, he said. They race, they have a budget at the start of the year, anticipating that money that the charter brings in. But not everyone feels calm. Racing legend Dale Earnhardt Jr. spoke on his podcast and said, "The biggest issue isn't missing races, it's losing money. Teams make their budgets thinking they'll get charter money. Without that, they can't pay for everything. That means trouble." And there's more. NASCAR has now asked other teams to show their money records. These teams are not happy. They don't want to get pulled into this court fight. They think money problems should be talked about in private meetings, not public court. But NASCAR wants everything out in the open. An expert named Bob Pockras said the court wants those other teams to explain why they shouldn't be part of the case too. This could grow into a bigger problem. More teams, more pressure. This isn't just two teams versus NASCAR anymore. It might turn into the whole sport versus its rule book.
They won't sue because they want to obviously continue with the lawsuit. The U.S. Court of Appeals last week said there's no basis in antitrust law to say that this clause is illegal, and so they kind of tossed out the injunction.
Money is the heart of the issue. Michael Jordan can pay for losses for a while, but Front Row Motorsports isn't that rich. Every dollar lost hurts, and with no charter, the team could lose a lot each week. Even if they race, they might not make enough to keep going. Still, the teams won't lose everything. They get to keep their car numbers, they can still earn points, and if they do well, they can still make the playoffs. But it will be harder, and they'll make a lot less money. Now for a fun twist. Denny Hamlin said something funny on his podcast. He said they almost named their team 6XI instead of 23XI. Why? To honor Jordan's 6 NBA titles. They even made logos and designs. But in the end, they went with 23XI, a mix of Jordan's number 23 and Hamlin's number 11. It shows how much they care about legacy, not just winning. "We were doing renderings and all this stuff, but, on all the gear like it was 611, Hamlin continued, 6X. I was our team name for a while, but I was like, hey, let's change. Let's rethink. But behind that cool story, the fight goes on. NASCAR might be getting ready to give the lost charters to other teams. If true, they could reward teams that take their side. That could shake up the whole Cup Series. While Jordan, Hamlin, and the rest of 23XI Racing stand to lose big money amidst the legal battle and racing uncharted, Hamlin has made his point clear on the topic. Although silent on the prospects of team drivers Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, and Riley Herbst, Hamlin has let all fans know where he and the team firmly stand. And don't forget about Stewart-Haas Racing. When they left the Cup Series, their charters became hot items. 23XI wanted to buy one. But if the court says their current charters are gone and NASCAR gives them away, then all that work might be for nothing. So now, NASCAR has a tough choice. If they take charters away from Jordan and Hamlin, some teams will get more money. But NASCAR could also lose the trust of big names and future owners who might fear the same thing happening to them. The teams also worry about how long they can keep running without charter money. Running a NASCAR team costs a lot. There's travel, car repairs, driver pay, and crew pay. Without money from charters, everything gets harder. Even small things like fuel and tires add up fast. A bad week could hurt the team's whole season. Some fans are starting to notice. On social media, people are asking why NASCAR is fighting its own teams. Some say it's time for a new system. Others support NASCAR's decision, saying rules are rules. No matter which side people are on, one thing is clear. Everyone is watching closely. More drivers and team owners might start speaking out. If they feel like their future is at risk, they could join Jordan and Hamlin in their fight, or they might try to play it safe and stay quiet. It's a tricky time in NASCAR. People are picking sides even behind closed doors. Some even think this could change how teams join NASCAR in the future. If getting a charter becomes too hard or risky, fewer new teams might want to try. That could hurt the sport in the long run. New blood brings fresh fans and new energy, but if the system feels broken, people might stay away. June 26th is the key date. That's when we'll know if 23XI and Front Row can keep their charters while the court case moves forward. If not, they race as open teams. That means less money, more stress, and big decisions for sponsors and drivers. This isn't just about two race teams, it's about how NASCAR works at its core. If the teams win in December, NASCAR might have to change the way it handles charters. If they lose, NASCAR stays in control, and other teams might think twice before speaking up. So what's next? Is Michael Jordan's team fighting for fairness or picking a fight they can't win? We don't know yet. But one thing's clear. This story isn't over. It's just getting started. If you found this story surprising, make sure to hit that like button and share it with a friend who loves NASCAR. Subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories and big updates in the world of motorsports. And tell us in the comments, do you think 23XI Racing will win this battle, or is NASCAR too powerful to challenge?
The only thing is like Larson and Joey have to stay in championship winning cars to get to that number.
Yeah, have to.
That's the problem, right? If something happens and there's there's new drivers coming in, there's always the next best thing and the next greatest guy.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has just delivered the most shocking and humiliating blow to Denny Hamlin's championship legacy that nobody saw coming. After Hamlin's 57th career victory at Michigan International Speedway, Jr. made devastating statements that have completely exposed Hamlin's biggest weakness and destroyed his championship credibility. What Earnhardt revealed about Hamlin's future and the only two drivers who can match his 60-win milestone is sending shockwaves through the NASCAR community and proving that Hamlin's regular season success means nothing without championship hardware. Hamlin thought his Michigan victory would be a celebration of his incredible achievement, his first win after his 700th start and his 57th career triumph, making him the winningest driver in Joe Gibbs racing history. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. completely ruined Hamlin's moment by delivering a brutal reality check that exposed the harsh truth about Hamlin's championship failures and his inability to perform when titles are on the line. On the Dale Jr. Download podcast, Earnhardt dropped bombshell after bombshell that systematically destroyed Hamlin's legacy. First, Jr. publicly declared that only two drivers, Joey Logano and Kyle Larson, have any chance of matching Hamlin's eventual 60-win milestone. This statement is absolutely devastating because it implies that Hamlin's win total is meaningless if younger, more talented drivers can easily replicate his achievements while also delivering championships. Earnhardt's assessment was surgical in its precision and brutal in its honesty. Logano is 35 years old and has 37 wins. Logano, in my opinion, is the only one that could probably get there. Larson could do it, Earnhardt stated. The only thing is Larson and Joey have to stay in the championship-winning cars to get to that number. This comment directly attacks Hamlin's greatest failure, his inability to win championships despite having elite equipment throughout his entire career. What makes Earnhardt's comments even more humiliating is his emphasis on championship-winning cars. Both Logano and Larson have proven they can win championships. Logano has 3 Cup Series titles, while Larson dominated the 2021 season with 10 wins and the championship. Meanwhile, Hamlin has 0 championships despite 20 years of elite equipment at Joe Gibbs Racing and countless opportunities to close the deal. Earnhardt continued his devastating analysis by highlighting the advantages that Logano and Larson have over Hamlin. If something happens, there's new drivers coming in, always the next best thing and the greatest guy. As long as you don't become the B or the C driver at the great teams, as long as Joey and Larson are in championship cars, which that sounds crazy to think they'll never be, but you just never know what might happen in 5-10 years. This statement suggests that championship-proven drivers like Logano and Larson are more valuable to their teams because they deliver when it matters most, something Hamlin has consistently failed to do throughout his career. Kyle Petty joined the attack on Hamlin's legacy with even more devastating commentary. Petty made the bold declaration that Hamlin will be the last guy to 60 wins, effectively arguing that modern NASCAR has evolved beyond drivers like Hamlin who can accumulate wins but can't close the championship deal when pressure mounts. Petty's analysis was particularly harsh. Joey Logano is 35 and has 37 wins. He has to win the same amount of races in the next 9 years that he won in the previous 9 years. That's 18 years producing at the highest level. However, Petty then delivered the most humiliating assessment. When we look at the organizations with 4-car teams, they steal wins from each other. It's hard for an individual driver to put up those numbers. Denny Hamlin continues to get it done. I don't care whether he wins a championship. This comment is absolutely crushing because Petty is essentially saying that Hamlin's lack of championships doesn't matter, but only because he'll never win one anyway. Petty is giving up on Hamlin's championship hopes entirely, treating him as a driver who accumulates meaningless regular season victories. The financial implications of Hamlin's legal battle with NASCAR add another layer of humiliation. Earnhardt expressed concern about 23XI Racing's financial situation after losing their charter status. So why that matters is a chartered team will get a lot more prize money over the course of the year, and it amounts to tens of millions of dollars. If you have a charter, you're guaranteed a portion of the TV money from NASCAR. And in Hamlin's case, each charter is probably getting anywhere from 10 to 15 million bucks. Earnhardt continued the financial assault. NASCAR doesn't have to pay them any money as if they were chartered for the rest of the year unless they win an appeal. In my opinion, it's a big win for NASCAR. This statement shows that even NASCAR legends support the sanctioning body over Hamlin in this legal dispute. The most devastating aspect of Earnhardt's comments is his analysis of why Logano and Larson are superior to Hamlin. Both drivers started their careers at different teams before finding success at their current organizations. Logano struggled at Joe Gibbs Racing before finding his championship form at Team Penske, while Larson spent 7 years at Chip Ganassi Racing before joining Hendrick Motorsports. Meanwhile, Hamlin has been handed elite equipment at Joe Gibbs Racing for his entire career and still can't win championships. Earnhardt's prediction about future competition adds insult to injury. Larson might not want to race that long, you just don't know. He might race till he's 60, who knows? He might win 80 races. This comment suggests that Larson could potentially surpass Hamlin's entire career win total, making Hamlin's current achievements look pedestrian by comparison. What's particularly humiliating for Hamlin is that these comments came from NASCAR royalty. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kyle Petty are Hall of Famers and champions whose opinions carry tremendous weight in the NASCAR community. When legends like these publicly question Hamlin's championship credibility, it becomes impossible to ignore their assessment. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s public humiliation of Denny Hamlin represents a devastating blow to the 44-year-old's legacy and championship hopes. By declaring that only championship-proven drivers like Logano and Larson can match his achievements, Earnhardt has effectively relegated Hamlin to second-tier status among active drivers. Will Hamlin ever recover from this public assault on his legacy, or has Earnhardt permanently damaged his reputation as a championship contender? What do you think about Earnhardt's brutal assessment? Is he right that Hamlin will never be remembered as a true champion? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you agree with Junior's analysis, and subscribe for more explosive NASCAR drama and championship predictions.